In a small Northwest Indiana private school, 4 students will embark on a debate that will change their future for like 7 minutes.
Whoa there, buddy. Chew your foods, though. No, guys, it's just that our food contains GMOs. How do you know that? Well, let's ask a few reliable sources.
I am Mr. Chico, Dean of Students. Not a big fan of it. It's my understanding it's unhealthy.
Do the bechamel meals contain GMO products?
I do not know that.
We sell foods with all kinds of ingredients in our cafeteria.
Okay, well, I guess you're right, but what's really wrong with GMOs? I mean, they can't be that bad.
Some cons of GMOs include multiple toxins from GMOs detected in maternal and fetal blood. DNA from genetically modified crops can be transferred into humans who eat them. A new study links GMOs to gluten disorders that affect 48 million Americans. Studies link genetically modified corn to rat tumors. Glyphosate induces human breast cancer cell growth via estrogen receptors. Genetically modified crop production is lowering U.S. yields and increasing pesticide use. Glyphosate linked to birth defects. Studies link GMO animal feed to severe stomach inflammation and enlarged uteri in pigs.
So why are they so bad for our health? You really seem to hit on that point.
Well, no long-term studies have ever been done on humans. No long-term studies have ever been done on humans. But when you look at the studies that have been done on animals, it's pretty appalling. You're talking about liver damage and kidney damage, and when they've done fed it to hamsters, the third generation of hamsters weren't able to produce babies. So they're real safety issues, but the genetically modified foods are not labeled. So people do not know that they are eating genetically modified foods.
Okay, guys, I feel sick. Is this affecting my health?
GMOs are fine. See?
My name is Mrs. Stotney, and I am the biology teacher here at Bishop Hill. I tend to be pro-GMO. I think there's a lot of benefits to them. As a biologist and understanding everything about it, it's just not scary to me. There's so many good things that happen from GMOs, like golden rice. If you've read about that, that's where people are dying, children are dying from blindness, from vitamin A deficiency. So they modified rice to be able to help the person produce more vitamin A. So children aren't dying from things anymore like that. They're not getting that vitamin A deficiency, and they're not being born blind. So that really helps certain communities and developing nations. And also things like our fish supply. We've overfished our oceans. We don't have as much fish anymore, but they're genetically modifying things like salmon, and the skeptics are afraid because the salmon is, they're calling it Frankenfish and everything, but the salmon can actually be really helpful because there's omega-3s in salmon, and that's a super good thing for humans to consume, and we need to find other ways to preserve our fish populations because some people live only on fish. Like, that's like the main protein in their diet in some island nations and stuff. I mean, that's like the positive way they affect health. You know, when you Google GMOs online, you see so much about all the negative things, but there's really nothing that they're saying specifically. They're saying, well, cancer, it could be cancer. We have no evidence that it's really causing any kind of cancer. And people feel that they are unpredictable, that once you modify something, the thing that you used to modify with is still in that person's, or in the tissue of the organism that you're eating, and then it becomes in your tissue. But that's not true because most of those things are RNAs, and RNAs degrade after a couple days. They're a temporary molecule. There's really not a lot or any concrete evidence that I've read that says they're bad. And we should always leave things open in science and do more research and never just assume that they will be safe forever. It's good to be skeptical, but I think people are being way too upset about something that they know very little about.
Do my parents know?
Lou, you're fine. I don't know. Let's just ask Mr. Chico.
Different department. I would believe they would not. So ask someone from lunch.
Again, I think it'd be really hard to notify them of that because that information is really hard to define. It's even hard to define really what a genetically modified organism even is because there's so many things that can happen in the environment that change the DNA by selective breeding, where For example, corn used to be a grass known as teosinte, and it only had like one little strand of kernels, but humans and agriculture have changed it to be in a whole ear of corn because we've just selectively chosen genes that we like. So it's really hard to pinpoint what's considered genetically modified and what's not. And things are labeled now. There's a whole non-GMO project. You could go to the grocery store and see things labeled non-GMO, non-GMO. But I don't know how informative those labels are because I don't think they're taking into account everything that's genetically modified. So I think it's a little misleading when you see labels that say non-GMO or GMO. I don't think that whole thing is defined enough yet. And we really don't know how harmful the GMOs are or if they're even harmful at all. There's really no evidence of it.
Okay, so are they okay to eat or not?
Hey guys, you want to participate in a survey?
Yeah.
Do you think GMOs are good or bad?
I think GMOs are really good. No, yes, they are. They're fine. They're actually fine. Shut up.
Okay, it was just a question.
Well, the real question is,
What do you think?
what do you think about GMOs? At first, I thought they were gross. Like, I didn't want to eat. This was like when I first found out what they were. But now I'm just like, I guess they're not that bad. I mean, I haven't died because, I ate GMOs.
GMOs are destroying the earth. Aircraft. Air destroying our fields.